Okay, I can see I've got this information. The webinar has started, so it means that we are on, and this is live. So hello everyone. My name is Bartłomiej Janiak, and it's the fourth meeting, and at the same time the last meeting in this PTE Core series for teachers. I can see that the people are joining, and as usual, hello again. Nice to see you, Angela. So I had this conversation before. It's good once you have those sessions in this, let's say, not so distant period of time, then you can just meet the same people, and you feel like as if they are meeting with them regularly. Hi, Lynn, hi, Dania, Fabiana. Oh, Fabiana is yes, still in there. Hi. So I hope that you enjoy your time and place and you are as comfortable as you can be in this interesting reality. So it's 7 p.m. in my country. I'm based in Poland. So you are the last wonderful audience for me today. So I hope that I'm gonna interact and you're gonna interact with me. We'll talk about PT Core listening for teachers. Hi from Ontario, Canada. Hello. Yeah, this is one of the elements which I do appreciate the international audience, but sometimes I do struggle with trying to read out and pronounce the names correctly. It's 10:30 p.m. Okay, so you're the winner. I guess it was this week or the last week. I ran several webinars and I had like a person saying that it was like a middle of the night, and this person was from Australia. So either hyper interested in the topic that we are delivering, or just trying to find a way to fall asleep as fast as possible. So maybe it was one of the options. It's 12 a.m. in Vietnam too. Okay, good to see you. Good to see you. So in case you just doze off and you like go to sleep, so you find yourself comfy place and just you listen like a podcast. Okay, without further ado, my name is Bartłomiej Janiak and I'm the assessment advisor and a teacher trainer. So what I do basically is I run educational programs for various assessment portfolios, including PT Academic, PT Core. I support also international certificate, and my background is also in coaching and psychology of motivation. So I do try to squeeze in all those elements the things that I consider like maybe not skills, but the values or the strategies that might be worth implementing within the exam preparation course. So I truly believe that it's not only about question by question repetition. So it's about teaching and showing the beauty of the language and inspiring students to get deeper and deeper and being inspired by the language itself. And once you make this inspiration, the command of English and the level of English will be just cosmetics. But we need to inspire them in one of the ways that we talk. And since this is the last one on listening skills, there is a question. We'll start off with a question. So I need you to go back in time. I need you to go back in time that you were a student. I don't know how many years ago was it. It may be 1 year ago. It may be like 20 years ago. It could be post-diploma studies. So it could be several months ago. But once you go back in time, I want you to look at the at this question and just try to bring to your memory listening activities that you had, or maybe you had all the lessons devoted to listening skills. And if you could share with us in the chat, what were the things you enjoyed most? What were the aspects that you were looking forward to? And what were the things that actually didn't make those lessons interesting, or they were challenging, or basically you didn't enjoy them, anything? So let's look at the two sides. Can you recall any things that you actually made you like those listening sessions? And were there any things that actually made you abhor those listening sessions and lessons? Okay, watching TV series, Angela. The French TV series was fun. So I'm going to share mine as well, because once I designed a question and I just do it myself, filling in blanks. Okay, thanks a lot. Anyone else? What are the things you liked? What are the things you didn't like doing? And what was the reason that those elements didn't appeal to you? Grammar. Okay, Madonna, but grammar, yes or grammar, no? You didn't like the listening because of the grammar, or you actually liked the listening because of the grammar? Which watching short videos, songs, native English, like, okay, listen and discuss with friends what the listening was about. Uh-huh. Thanks a lot. Knock. I like grammar. Okay. Video extracts, the various accents and dialects. Dictation was challenging for me at that time. Well, that's okay and that's normal, because so if it's challenging, I always say if it's challenging, it means good, because there is fields to improve. You dislike dictation. Mm-hmm. Comedy serials. Uh-huh. So as you read through chat, think about the lessons you are conducting right now and think if those elements that you enjoyed as a student are present within your language class. And this is one, it appeals to all the skills in exam preparation course, because yeah, we do feedback sections, but sometimes you need to ask this brave question to your students and say like, hey, we've been doing listening for some time and we've been doing reading or speaking. What are the things you like about the lessons I'm doing with you? What are the things you'd like to change? And this requires a bit of bravery, because you might hear some things you don't want to hear, but probably this is the only way you can expect improvement. So from my experience, when I had the pleasure of being a student, and I think I agree with one of you, because I really liked being taught grammar through watching films and listenings. And I remember there's the military film Black Hawk Down. We had a professor who actually was using the Black Hawk Down, science fiction films, etc. And I remember there was a scene where when there is a helicopter landing, and there are two Navy SEALs or special ops soldiers just being deployed from this helicopter, just coming to the rescue of a person. And this person is asking this question: where is the rescue squad? So it's a plural form, and the answer was that we are it. So I remembered this in the grammar element. I also remember that we, as some of you mentioned, that I enjoyed being exposed to authentic materials within the lesson. So not pre-recorded, but something with very original sound. And I really appreciated the fact that some of my teachers were bringing in stand-up comedies. And those comedies were really hard, but we were like B2 plus C1 level. But this guy was teaching us not only how to understand English, but to how to infer meaning from what they say, and how to see if this is funny or it's not funny at all. At also cultural aspect, history and elements. So these are the things that I really liked. And I wasn't a big fan of listening activities without any follow-up. So that we did the listening for listening, even in exam preparation courses. And I've been a student of several exam preparation courses. So it was the listening for the listening, and there was no follow-up, no logical connection with anything, just to play. So then I felt like, okay, this is just one of the exercises in the course books, and I just move on. So just think about your lessons, and once you enjoy, since you enjoyed some of them, so try to make sure that those elements are present in your language classes and exam preparation classes as well. And moving on, so question types, teaching tips as always, classroom ideas. Please treat it like a visit in a supermarket. If you find something interesting, just get it and put it to the test in the teaching reality as soon as possible. And just feel free to play with this inspiration and edit it so that it will match your reality as much as possible. So listing question types in PTE Core, you've got summarized spoken text, you've got multiple choice, multiple answers, fill in the blanks, multiple choice, single answers, select missing word, write from dictation, and highlight incorrect words. Those who are familiar with PTE Academic, they will say, okay, so I'm familiar with all of them, but I'm sure that majority of you are familiar, or all of you are familiar with those elements and those question types. Can you just say yes or no? Are you familiar with those question types, that you've met them at some point? And just looking at the name, you could expect yes, 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 yes. So we are in the majority. So we've got number of questions. Time permitted is like around 30, 37 minutes. So it means that your student need to manage time on their own. So this is like when you run exam preparation course, one of the classes should be like exam mastering, structure mastering, rules mastery. So they need to be taught that they manage the time on their own, so they cannot spend too little time. Well, too little is not so bad, but too long is like they may run out of time and they will not manage to get through all the listing sections. So the summarized spoken text. So you will hear a recording of a radio program, and then you need to write between 20, 30 words. You have 8 minutes for it. It doesn't have to be a single sentence. It could be the several sentences. Time allocated, the length of the recording, 45, 75 seconds. A sample, just you could hear it.
You might ask whether we need another health and fitness app when there are already so many available to download. But I'm going to explain why I think you'll love Whole Health. I started using it a few weeks ago, and I immediately realized that it's completely different to all the other products on the market.
Okay, so they hear a recording and they need to write a summary. So in this question type, the most important skill is, can you finish the sentence? So we are doing another listening activity, actually, like the one that we're gonna do in short time. So you start the sentence and you need to finish it. One of the most important skills in this question type is, of course, yeah, you need to pay attention. But I actually, this like you need to be super careful in all the questions. But you need to pay attention. Yes, but there is even something. There's something more. Just listening, something more. Something more, because I'm pretty sure that you have and your students have like a huge memory capacity. Yes, taking notes, Angela. Appreciate that you just here and you made it in the chat. So you need to teach your students how to take notes. These are the scoring criteria. For the scoring criteria, I'm sure you know it. You just get a score guide and you familiarize yourself as an exam preparation teacher on the content, on the form, on the grammar, vocabulary, and spelling. They are fairly clear, but for the language development, it's actually not necessary for students to know. They need to be familiarized before they take the test, so that the grammar, vocabulary, spelling, the form. So it means that they don't write more just to present that their language level is higher, because if they exceed the words, they will get smaller points. And the skill is the note taking. So once you take notes, and this is something that should be taught regularly with appropriate time in advance. Because for some of those students, if I think about myself, I've never been taught how to take notes effectively. It wasn't until I guess I attended university lectures that actually someone gave an inspiration that, hey, here is a book on note taking. Here is the book on just getting the gist. Why don't we talk about it? when I was attending the language courses, that we didn't have anything like how to take notes. My answer is, of course, simple templates when it comes to notes. So I understand there is some format of note taking. The question is yes and no. So how you develop the note taking skills? You need to first of all inform them that this is one of the crucial skills, and then you need to introduce them gently to those elements. And here is the exercise for you. These are the notes. These are the notes, and these are the words. Can you try and match the notes with appropriate words? And we're gonna start from the top. Can you provide the number for because? $11? Yes. What about and? $7, correct. What about money? That's an easy one. Piece of cake. So no need to think about. 10. What about suggest? Suggest 14. Yes, 14. What about decreasing? That's fairly easy. Number 2, correct. Best option idea. Number 9. Okay. In this context, number 9, probably that's 13. And then basically you go with the rest. Okay, so decreasing about disadvantage. I'm just gonna play it as soon as possible. And so one of the ways is you're gonna be role modeling the notes. But in order to be modeling the notes, you should have your own system designed, or you can get it from the book. Is this like this is the easy variation? So you provide the notes and you provide the words, and then you can make it more challenging. The same, you design the notes, but then you try and you ask students to work out the meaning on their own. And it gets creative, and they come up with all those elements, like number 9, I'm in love. Number 8, that's danger. So this form allows you to discover that the meaning they attach to the graphic design and to the graphic symbols. Because what you want from them in the note taking is like, this is the question that some of you ask, should we use templates in notes? So as I understand this question, is should we use the fixed pattern for the note taking? And my answer is yes, because what you need from your own students is my end. There is if you paste in the Google effective note-taking strategies, you will get several names, and you can try, and you can bring those elements, those strategies to the class. This is the best you can get on effective note-taking, and you might find some lectures about it. But the point is that you need to allow your students to develop their own style. Is either the suggestion they can use fewer letters, they can skip vowels, they can use icons and graphics. I'm the visual type, so I would be using icons and graphics to a large extent, but they need to practice it in advance so that it will become habitual in their own listening, writing, whatever the question type section. So it means that they will not have to think, how should I visualize the problem? What is the graphic image for connection, agree or disagree? So that sometimes we use it in texting. So this is another inspiration. So you ask those students, hey, how do you type your notes with your friends? What are the shortcuts you are using? And you bring the knowledge from your students. This is the time when the student becomes teachers, and this is what you want to have in the classes. But you need to make it habitual, And you shouldn't be surprised that they will have their own note-taking style. And then you put this note-taking style to the test. And this is for your role to evaluate if it's effective or not effective. So how do you put it into practice? If you have summarized spoken text, sample screenshots from Gold Experience, Speak Out and Roadmap, any language course books that you use. You've got the videos, you've got the listening sections, and you've got, of course, the instructions. So instructions follow you the language development course, General English in the book. It doesn't prevent you from saying, hey, the instruction for this listening type is summarized spoken text. So you will be listening to a story, and I want you to provide a summary between 20 and 30 words, and you have 8 minutes for it. So actually, it's very easy to recreate any listening activity from the course book into the summarized spoken text. So once you do it, and either you work with their creations, so you check them, you can check them against scoring criteria, or you can provide a feedback that you provide on listening practice, or you can do the peer-to-peer instruction, and either you can teach them the scoring criteria, you can use AI support, because AI is something that we should be using, and I'm a fan of AI. I hope that it will help us to become better teacher, more effective knowledge providers, so they can teach the AI to grade their own response, or you can design a checklist theme specific. So once you, for example, when they summarize the text, the checklist will be, your students, they need to pay attention to grammar. The other time, the spelling, the other time, the word count or content. So up to you, what is the major focus on particular activity, or you can ask them to grade each other's. Of course, they need to be, let's say, they need to be knowledgeable enough just to recognize the grammar mistakes and to recognize the spelling mistakes, but they can use computer to help them. So this is the element. The option that comes to you as a wonderful exam preparation providers. So this is, I've been taught in psychology courses, because I run those elements for the teachers around the world as well. When you do check the written assignment and you evaluate it, the standard element, as long as I remember, and it's happening right now, when someone produces a written text and hands in for evaluation, when I get it back, I usually have things which are underlined in the wonderful color, which is the color is that we, across the world, we use it when we underline mistakes, which is what? Red, of course. And hardly ever I can see those teachers who underline things which are good in those structures. So from time to time, my inspiration is choose a different color and underline things which you truly enjoy about this masterpiece. Okay, let your students know. So these are the things that they did well. From time to time, you can just look at the essay and evaluate on the good things only. This is how you build self-efficacy. This is how you build the belief that although they struggle, they do some things good. And of course, as you see, this is the most powerful grade that I've been taught a long time ago. When the performance is really poor, either you can say it's an F, you failed, or you can design a red stamp. It's fairly cheap. And you can say not yet instead of an F. So think of the message you share with your student. Not yet means that you believe that he will reach this point, but not this time. So this is something different. So from time to time, use a different color to underscore the good things from time to time. Instead of failing, just design a beautiful stamp and you're gonna enjoy it, putting like not yet or a flower or whatever you want. This is like how you build momentum and how you build self-efficacy. And once you deal with the with the with their own summaries, as you probably know, and we talked that the notes are the key elements. So they need to take effective notes. So what you can do during the classroom activity, that you play the listening from the general course book you're using, you ask those students to take notes, and then you make them exchange notes within pairs or groups. And they need to evaluate those notes using very open questions and the questions that suggest growth or create the space to grow. So what do I appreciate about my notes? What do I appreciate about my partner's notes? So this is like showing those, you see, using this color to say what's good and what's one thing I could change to improve my future note taking. So this is like, hey, why don't you find inspiration among students sitting next to you? Because maybe your colleague designed their own note taking style, and this is something that you can get from him or her and just use it to your benefit. So follow-up questions. So it's not only about just you take notes, you write a summary, but you work on the note-taking skills. And then you can ask them to create a summary of those. But sometimes you can work only on the note-taking and finish with the note-taking. So this is like you build chunking within particular question type. If you think it's great and excellent, then put it to the test, the next lesson with your students, and see how it works. And then some two other inspirations. Either you can play with quick capture or you can play with the mind map race. Quick capture is you play with a time. So they have 8 minutes to write the summary. Make it challenging, make it fun, adjust it to the level. You play the listening and you give them 30 seconds. You give them 1 minute, you give them 4 minutes to write a summary. With note taking and without note taking. Just see and show them how many things they can create within 1 minute and 4 minutes. And sometimes they will be amazed that they can provide pretty good summary within 4 minute time. And then you say, okay, so now you'll be having 8 minutes. So let's use those 8 minutes to the greatest possible benefit. So 40 seconds also work. So then the instruction will be, you need to have 1 sentence summary. And let's compare with the groups who's got the best 1 sentence summary. They should be very short, should be very critical with absolutely key elements from the listening. Or you can make them more creative and even teach them valuable skill on mind map creation. The instruction is that when you listen, I want you to take notes in a form of a mind map. Okay, and you teach your students what are mind maps, what is the logical connection, how do they form agreement, disagreement, some inspiration. So that when they write single line, this is like positive connection. When they write dotted line, this is like a negative connection. Or when they write like a wavy line, is like decrease. This is up to them to design their own mind map style, and then you play with the time. 3 minutes, 8 minutes, up to them. And then from the mind map, then they work out and they write a summary. So several elements to choose from. The multiple choice, multiple answer. So probably you know when you hear multiple choice, multiple answer, it means that those students taking the test, they shouldn't be guessing. They should choose only words, only sections which they are fully confident that this is the correct answer. There are 1 to 2 tasks. You've got the length of the recording, 50, 90 seconds, 5 to 7 options. There is a video, audio prompt, and they go and they listen and they need to select more than 1 answer, usually 2 or 3, and they shouldn't be selected things that they are not 100% sure because they will get minus points. That's how it is in multiple answers elements. So no guessing. When it comes to those elements, the same as with the reading one. So you are pretty familiar with it. So then they read it, they read the options to identify the keywords, they take notes as well. So the note taking will serve to their benefit for the whole education and for in the whole exam preparation period. And they select the option that best match the meaning of what is heard. And what you can do is, like, the note taking is obvious. Use the scripts that you have in the teacher's resources. Majority of the course books, and I've said it in the reading section, they do have the PDFs and they do have the Word document. If they are the Word docs, it means that you can edit. So once you work with the listening, then you work with the script and you work with the key element. And this is something for the multiple choice, multiple answers, and single answer. Sometimes leave the vocabulary alone, leave the grammar alone, and you work with your students only on the tone or intonation. The question would be just listening to this person. Can you try to name the emotion this person is experiencing? What's her attitude to the presented solution? Is she for or against? Is she hesitant? Is she like sitting in the middle? So just work on tone and intonation, because sometimes the tone and intonation will be something that will give you the clue on finding the most important element. Vocabulary extension, you are super creative. So the playground here is unlimited as for the things that you can do with the words, keywords, synonyms, antonyms, thesaurus, no shortage of alternatives. And a bit more things to work on. Two variations of activities. One is called seek and destroy. Can you work out the meaning of this activity? What's the message behind under seek and destroy instruction? So you have the multiple choice question type, but you say this is a seek and destroy. So you ask those students to eliminate the wrong answers only. So they need this. This is like they teach them this carefully finding discrepancies between what is written and what they hear. So instead of finding the correct one, say, why don't you right now try to find all those elements which are wrong and remove them, and just see if this strategy could work from them. So this is one option. And the second option is confidence meter. This is something that when they do the test, there is a question, how confident are you that this answer is correct or incorrect? And there's like, and of course, you know, in multiple choice, they need to be 100% sure, or at least 90% sure. Let's not make it so drastic, because they will get minus point. So you do the listening and you have the multiple choice questions. And the first, before actually they select, you just introduce confidence meter and you put the scale from 1 to 6. 1, I'm not confident at all. 6, I'm very confident at all. And first of all, they evaluate how confident they are that this option is correct or incorrect. And then you ask them to compare this level of confidence with their colleagues sitting in the same decks, or you can do it the breakout room sections without any problem. So you're just showing them how confident they are and just teaching them that sometimes if you're not confident, there is a reason that you lack confidence. And either this reason, the reason is that this section is incorrect, or basically you've lost track of the listing, or you ask them, what is the reason that you lack confidence? Well, I didn't get the appropriate wording. I didn't get the vocabulary. I didn't understand the passage. And sometimes you will get students, they say, like, I'm pretty confident. So out of 1 to 6, I'm 5. Okay, so what gave you this confidence? Why don't you teach your colleague? So, and then later on, you work out with the options. So 2 extra variations, seek and destroy, and confidence meter, just teaching them these self-efficacy elements. The beautiful question type, which is the fill in the blanks. So you've got the recording, you listen to the recording, and you need to type the missing words.
Okay, let's discuss our plans for the coming months. And the first thing I'd like to say is that our new collection will be quite different. I mean, some of our current customers may be surprised when they see the items in the store. Therefore, we need to find ways to meet their needs while promoting our items to other customers. However, I'm confident.
So they listen, they've got the blanks. So there is no rocket science in here to understand the instruction. However, we can do something to help them to perform better in this question type. So they get 1 point for each word spelled correctly. So first of all, this is the speed reading. Yeah, we had a reading section at several weeks ago, or was it like a week ago? So this is the speed reading activity, reading for general understanding and reading for the gist. So this is the beauty. So once you work out with the reading sections, you can say that, hey, this is something that will be useful to you in fill in the blank listening section. So it's like comprehensive learning. So using cursor as a guide. So this is like a very computer-based instruction. So teach them, okay, move the cursor to the very beginning of the text and follow the text with a cursor. Because if you get lost, it might be difficult for you to move on. And then abbreviations when writing. And then you check the words. Because what you do in the language class, the same time you'll utilize the script. I've taken it from roadmap, the teacher resources, the Word document, and it takes literally maybe not seconds, but I don't know, a minute. Just what you do is you edit the document, you remove some of the words, you project the word on the screen, and you have ready fill in the blanks activity, and you play the audio recording, and you will see this is taken from the course book.
Unit 1. Recording 7.
Today we're going to be talking about something that's...
So any listening question type within the course book could be transformed into this fill in the blanks. I know that some of you will be using the lyrics, some of you will be using songs, and they have fun with it. They are popular. You can ask students to bring the songs. You can ask them to prepare the lyrics on their own. So this is how you practice fill in the blanks. And then there are 2 strategies that you need to offer to your students. Either they type into the blanks as they listen, or they take notes while listening. Okay, there are 2 variations. So, and you need to offer this alternative, and you need to offer exposure to those strategies several times. So the one instruction is this time, I want you to type the words as you listen. The other time, I want you to take notes while listening, and I want you to use abbreviations only. So do not aim for putting the complete word. Think about abbreviation and then transfer the abbreviation into the blanks and put them into the complete words. Why is it important to offer these 2 strategies? Because as I told you at the very beginning, there is a single time slot for all the listening activities. So they need to see which one is more effective for them, which one is easier, and which one consumes the smallest amount of time, remaining highly effective. Okay, so offer the instruction, typing into the blanks complete words, and then taking those abbreviations while listening. Take notes while listening. So some of you already have those elements which think that they are beneficial, But it would be good to offer this alternative. When students are allowed to make choice, this is where the self-efficacy grows. The self-efficacy grows up. Hold on a second, because I've got this wonderful message, and I think we are okay, because I've got this message. Your computer is running low on battery, and it wasn't plugged in. So I hope that I'm not gonna switch off. So taking notes, and then what you can do to make it even more interesting. So think about the conversation on the street. It's not with the super quality sound. It's not very clear like in the recording studio. So what you can do is, like, when you play the listening from the course book, you can take a second loudspeaker, you can get on Spotify, and you can type kitchen sound, or you can type the jungle sound, you can type this the New York street life, and you play the recording, adding the distraction. So you teach them to sharpen their listening skills, and you can play with the level of this distraction. Is it gonna be high, or is it gonna be low? And this is like how you can offer this alternative, offering extra challenge, because they could hear the waiter discussing with a customer, and there could be some background noise, and you play with the distraction and see how they perform when this language with the sound quality is distracted with some extra element. The fairly easy one is like, but you can offer mini prizes for it. You just design, you put a flip chart on the wall, you can open the whiteboard in Zoom meeting, and you ask them to predict the words by looking at the text. And then you can have a mini competition. Those who manage to predict the word correctly, they get a candy or whatever you think is worth, and gives those small elements of positive emotions to your students. So you make it with distraction, and you work with prediction. Multiple choice, single answer. So this is like the similar one. There is like a text. There are several options. There are around 4 options. There is a video, audio. So from time to time, you're gonna get video, audio, and they need to select one option only. So this is what I've told you. Sometimes you work and you train. Just look at the tone and the intonation of the speaker. Of course, note taking essential, because
You've been with us.
you might remember those elements, or you might forget some of the elements, and they get a correct response. So guessing, if they are at a loss, is more than welcome here. Similar instruction, you read the questions carefully, you take notes, you eliminate the options that are wrong. And once you work with those elements, and this is I've been exposed, so my teachers used to do it. So it's usually like, why is it correct and why is it incorrect? So this is quite obvious for the language classes. You work with the scripts. Once once you've finished with the listening, capitalizing on student interest and vocabulary extension is like, what you do is you ask them at home to watch their favorite podcast and to pay attention to the gist, but pay attention to tone, intonation, how they can infer meaning. And of course, they can pause, play, and repeat to build the vocabulary. But this is like, try to get the main idea of this documentary, or what's the main idea of this paragraph that you've just listened. If you were to summarize this listening section with a single sentence, what would it be? It's like trying to teaching them how they can get the general meaning out of the single paragraph, out of the single portion of text that they've listened to. If you want to introduce an element of fun, you've got this multiple choice activity, single answer, but then you design a mini groups of 4, and actually you ask those students once they finish listening, so there are 4 options or 5 options. So there are 5 students in the group, and all of them, they have to defend their own option using arguments from the listening. So it's like playing the devil's advocate a bit. And once they try to defend, the rest of the group can either agree or disagree by providing appropriate argument. So it's a nice speaking activity, and you'll have a group debate on which answers are correct or incorrect. They try to convince each other that my option is correct, and that the group logically either follows or makes a decision to choose a different option. So it's going to be like an element of extra interaction. The recall workout, actually every listening activity, because you know that the note-taking skills are essential, but knowledge retention and the ability to train this working memory, there are 4 to 5, 4 plus minus 1 elements. The working memory can manipulate in a single time slot. But actually, you can play this and you can have this activity without note taking. And once they finish listening, you just throw at them questions to check their understanding of the text. So just you work from time to time with the memory only. And this is something that they need to be exposed as well. Because once they combine the memory with the note taking, so this is where you want your students to be effective at remembering and to be effective at note-taking. And those 2 elements play with each other, and this is where the team can score a goal. So the recall workout is like asking questions, listen without taking notes, and you check the understanding of this particular text. Select missing word. Some students do enjoy this activity. Fairly easy to use it and to redesign questions in the course book. So you listen to a radio program, you listen to a podcast on video listening, and the speaker will finish a sentence with a beep, and you need to select the correct answer. As you can see, all the answers will fit grammatically, so it's going to be about the meaning. The most important element here is to listen to the very end, because usually by the end, the speaker changes their meaning, and this is where you need to fish for the correct understanding and the correct option. So they get a point if the response is correct. So the first element, just they read the instruction, then they skim the options, the main points, and they need to listen to the very end. Sometimes the students have a tendency to jump and select the option because something is mentioned at the very beginning of the listening, and they forget or they click next. So pay attention to the very end of the listening. So this is usually where you will find a suggestion for the correct or incorrect answer. So in order to practice this activity, you can introduce the activity like making prediction. You will take a script from your course book, and you will do it yourself. Well, the preparation is around 5 minutes or even shorter. So I've got this script printed. So I'm gonna play the text, play the listening, and your instruction is to try to predict what word or what phrase will appear after the pause. Okay? Off you go. And just put it in the chat.
Unit 3. Recording 3. 1.
Anyway, I'll never forget the time my brother tricked me. I was about 12 and I'd been studying for a science exam, and my brother said to me, "Do you want to know the..."
Do you want to know the question? Thanks a lot. Do you know the question answers? Okay. Anyone else? Questions? Do you want to know the answers? Okay. Anyone else? Be creative. No limits. Hmm? Let's move on. Hold on a second.
Unit 3, Recording 3. 1.
Anyway, I'll never forget the time my brother tricked me. I was about 12 and I'd been studying for a science exam, and my brother said to me, "Do you want to know the secret of doing well in an exam? You have to sleep."
Okay. You have to sleep. And what happens next? You have to sleep, eat well. Okay. You have to sleep, eat well. Anyone else? You have to eat well, study hard. Okay.
With the book under your pillow.
You have to sleep with the book under your pillow. Okay. And this is like how you play the listening. And this like, and you design, you just print the text, you make like, you underline where you need to pause the recording, and then you try to predict, and you let those students predict those elements. So then they try to guess, and they practice this fill in the blanks activity and finishing finishing the sentence. So you play, pause, select, and check. The next option is, yeah, like you take the script, you play the script, you select at some point that you need to make a pause, you design 3 different alternatives, and just it will take you a minute. Okay, 3 different endings of the sentence. You play the sentence, you pause, you ask those students to select because it's on the screen, and you check with the recording, and you've got the same exam question type activity. Highlight incorrect words. This is like majority of students, they do enjoy it because they need to highlight the words which are different. 2 tasks, the length of the recording is given, there are around 6 errors, and there is audio prompt, and they need to basically fish out the words which sound different. So another element, you shouldn't be guessing here. You should only select the words which are you're 100% sure that these are the words which are incorrect. Don't click something that you are not sure 100%. So this comes with the practice, but this is the knowledge that you need to transfer to your students. Before the recording starts, skim reading, the same. You benefit from the reading activities. You benefit from those options of skimming and scanning. Then it's good because since it's computer based, you teach them, hey, just you might be nervous, but make sure your cursor is at the beginning and you follow the speaker just one by one, and your cursor needs to be in exactly the same place as the speaker, because once you lose track, it might be difficult for you to get back to this correct track again, and you click on the words immediately. So this is the question type where you shouldn't be taking notes because you'll not have time later on just to copy the words because you can forget something. So you listen, just you move with the cursor, and you click once you hear a different sound and different pronunciation. 2 variations. Either you show the script, they read the script, they underline the keywords, they try to work out the pronunciation of those elements on their own. So you let them play with the script and you let them do this activity aloud. Underline the words you know, underline the words you don't know, and try to predict the pronunciation. And you don't correct them. And then you play the recording and you ask them whether the pronunciation was similar or different. And then what you do, you take the script, and this is like some teachers do like it because like setting the trap for the students. You take the script, you open it in the Word document, you change words, you put it in the projector, you play, and you let those students discover the words which are different. And this is the script taken from Roadmap. So I'm going to play the recording and try to spot the incorrect words. Once you hear something, just type it in the chat.
Unit 5. Recording 1.
You might find the end of the story pretty strange. I remember thinking, that can't be true when I heard it, but it is. A woman living in a city about 100 kilometres away phoned the police. She knew who the girl was. She was the daughter of a friend of hers. And she was 25, not 14. She was a research student at the city's university. The girl, well, the young woman, Elizabeth Reed, was running an experiment on how people behave towards strangers, to people they can't understand and can't talk to. She was doing it as a test to see what people would do. This was part of her university course. Part of her research was to find out how long it would be before she was recognised and found. She had moved city, so she wouldn't be recognised on the street by her friends and colleagues. Her university and her close family knew what she was doing. Can you believe that? It can't be a good use of police time and money, can it? Is this really important research?
Yes. So you see, and you can make it challenging for you. You can play this mini nasty creature. I'm gonna design a text and I'm gonna change words. I'm gonna make my students really struggle in it. Let's see who's gonna win the game. Is it me or the knowledge of my students? And of course, you can test it out. You can work with the sounds, and this is where you can enjoy it as well, trying to change those elements. And these texts are ready, okay, because the script is attached to this teacher resources and it's ready to go. Yep, so these are the words, and you are correct. And the final one, write from dictation. So you listen to a sentence and type the sentence in the box exactly as you hear it. So either take notes, because you can take notes and then you can recreate the notes. You can recreate the whole sentence from the notes. So using abbreviations and coming back to the first slide, they need to have their own style. They need to know how to write abbreviations. And once they write a complete sentence, they pay attention to grammar, spelling, and punctuations. So they're starting with the capital letter and ending with a full stop. You can use write from dictation, just you play the instruction of any activity and you use the instruction as write from dictation. So actually you can you ask them to write the instruction. In class activity, homework activity, so the videos, play, pause, repeat. Easy, you play, pause, repeat. There are subtitles, you can go back, you can check it. There are several applications in internet when you put a sentence and you ask the application to say it using a different accent. So you can just expose, you can give variety to various accents. WhatsApp app, we were doing it several times. So you send those students, ask your students to send a voice message, and their own partner, they have to write the message down, and they need to check with the sender and the receiver whether this is the same message, and they can use the AI, for example, to check the punctuation, to check the spelling, and to check the grammar. This is how you capitalize on the things that they already have at their own disposal. And the final one, reminder, please feel free to join our online course. So this is where they take you through all the question types. They will have sample answers there. You'll find question and answers and tips there as well. And looking at the coursework that we have. So my intention was to show you that once you have the general English course book, you have really a lot of material that could help your students to prepare for PTE Core. And it's not a big challenge to tweak some of those questions in the course book, and you develop the recommend of general English, and at the same time, you will be showing them the PTE Core question types. And this is probably the most important message. And whatever it is, if it's the listening, speaking, or writing, just work on developing the listening DNA. Just teach them this beautiful message that once you go home and you're in the exam preparation period, expose yourself to the listening elements as often as possible. You've got podcasts, you've got TEDx, you've got YouTube channels. Just listen to a good English, and those elements will give you the knowledge. Okay? Thank you for being with us throughout those 4 sessions. Thank you for interaction. Once you have an inspiration in any of those skills, put this inspiration to the test. Just put it into the lessons straight on, because the best place you can start is the place like tomorrow, and see if it works in your reality. Add it and adapt, and just have fun with this lesson creation as well. Thanks again. Thanks for being with us, and probably we'll get back to you with some more inspiration in the upcoming months. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm gonna finish off, and I'm gonna go to bed quite soon. Bye-bye.